Hi. Hi. Hi, welcome everyone to this live stream today. I'm talking to all our beginner pianists, and I haven't done a stream. Well, I did a stream last week for the first time in a really long time, and then today is just another. We're getting back into it because it's spring. I got my spring strawberry shirt on and my Elton John glasses, and yeah, I'm going to be talking to the beginner pianists today. So, I love myself a little bit of research because I like to, whenever I make a new course or a new resource for any pianists, I make sure that I start from a place of making sure that I know what's happening at the moment. And I've done that since I started Piano Picnic in 2016. And at that time, the research that I was doing and the research I was finding was that learning in small chunks was really important to people learning piano or learning anything online. Our attention spans is shrinking. Of course, you've heard of this. Our attention span's shrinking over time because of, everything, social media, TikTok, Instagram. And so in 2016, I started doing piano courses made up of lessons that were only 2 minutes long each lesson. So you can always do a tiny little bit of piano learning in your day, maybe instead of watching another TikTok or something like that, So I've done this for a very long time, almost 7 years now, making my courses this way, and I've had loads of feedback from students saying, awesome, we love that. We love that we don't have to sit there for a whole hour just to learn some piano. That coming to October, this is the time of year that last year I started my transformation program, which was a year-long program for pianists to help them improve and really make headway. And we've just wrapped that up. And now I'm looking at doing the next year. And when I was like, you know what, I think the feedback from the students was like a year is quite a long time to commit. It's really hard to retain your focus for that long on one goal. So what I've done is I've done a lot more research about what people want in learning piano online these days and what's working, what the research is telling us, so that I can make this program quite a bit different to last time and make sure that it's suited for today's online learners. So, is this weird with glasses on? Should I take them off? I think we're good. So, what I'm going to talk about today is the results of that research. And I'm just going to walk you through it because I want to hear this is, studies that people have done with big groups of people. But what I want to know is from you, whether you agree with these findings. And I'm going to tell you about the program that I've developed that's going to be starting actually next week for beginner pianists. So hold on till the end of the video so I can tell you about that, because I think you're going to want to be involved with this particular program. It's, as I said, based in the research to make sure that it's the most effective, the most convenient, and the most fun. So let's take a look so I can take you on this journey with me about how exciting learning is, how exciting teaching is, and how I love making these resources because it's changing all the time. And I just love to make piano more and more convenient for people. That's what I love. I've since I got in the game, as I mentioned, I started with 2-minute lessons. I wasn't interested in making piano lessons that was gatekeeping piano playing. I'm not all about that. I want to make it as accessible as possible. And there's literally no snobbery when it comes to piano playing with me. I will literally share with you all the secrets and all the things that I've learned because I just want you to come on this journey and enjoy the piano as much as I do. Okay, so let's get into that. I'm going to show you some of this research that I've come across. And I want to disperse with some piano playing so that it's not just like a whole lot of talking the whole time. And let me find my thingy. Give me a second. Hold. Doing technological things while also playing the piano. It's quite hard. So let's do a little bit of background music. So solo piano is a solo instrument, but you don't have to be alone. And that's one of the things that I find really special about learning piano online and teaching piano with Piano Picnic. So One of the first things I found out when I was doing some research is that community learning is now one of the most successful ways to learn anything, but also to learn an instrument, because piano, typically in the traditional sense, is a solo instrument, but when we don't have to be that way. And the way I teach piano is kind of integrating some piano playing, traditional piano technique, but also more of like keyboarding technique, which includes, this sort of thing. So I'm just comping on chords right now. It's just chords and little sort of blues scales. And that's more of a keyboarding technique. It's not the type of thing you really learn in traditional piano learning. So that type of playing is something you can do with other people. You can play in bands, you can jam with other people. And so that brings it back to that community learning. So let's look at the research. Those who thrive together, who learn together, completion rates are over 90%. Now that is a shocking statistic, but I've heard it from multiple different studies, and multiple corners of the internet, and different experts have been quoting this statistic because it's true. Sometimes over 90%, sometimes down to 80%, but 90% is the average completion rates. So if you found that you've bought courses before and you've not finished them, you are not alone, my friend. And I, as someone who can see everyone's login rates, I think that Piano Picnic course completion is actually quite high compared to the average, and I credit that to my 2-minute lessons being really convenient, and maybe my style is a little bit fun too. But you can't really compete with 90% completion rates of 90% when you learn in a group. 58% of online learners felt that their interactions with classmates spurred them on. So that's again. And 94% said that engaging in discussions ignited their interest of the subject matter. So what that means is that as soon as we talk to someone about what we're learning, we're kind of figuring out what we learn as we're talking about it. And then when you hear how someone else has figured out something, again, that is that can give us a hint into there we go. Let's just do a little bit of Ruthie up the top. That can give us it can help us to understand it ourselves when we hear how someone else has connected the dots with a certain subject matter. So that is super cool about community learning. Micro-training. This is another topic. So community, really important to learning these days online, as opposed to, and completion rates and also retaining the information so much better than just a normal self-paced online course. Micro-training. Okay, so micro-training is something that, as I said, I've done since 2016. And the stats are still saying that it's super effective. So I'm going to continue with that. 94% of learners prefer this bite-sized approach. And it's the number one challenge is finding the time. For all the pianists that I surveyed in my recent beginner pianist poll, the number one struggle was finding enough time. So that aligns with this idea of micro-training. If our lessons can be bite-sized, then we're going to be able to find time from it, and it's going to help with that struggle. So that means daily short bursts of, like this piano chords, short bursts of compound interest over time. I'm not reading this very effectively while I'm playing, but basically, if we do daily short bursts, it compounds interest, meaning that each day we are building on that knowledge, and just, if it's effectively like growing knowledge every single day. That's not a difficult concept for us to get our heads around at all. That makes sense. But when you compare it to the fact that if you don't do something every day, you start to forget it very quickly. And I'm going to show you the stats on that in a minute. The third thing is daily dose. So small bites. Micro-training is about small bites daily, but this is about the fact that doing something daily is super important, particularly revisiting material that you've already learned at small intervals like daily, but then also after a week and after a couple of weeks and after a month. That helps promote our long-term memory, and that's something I've talked about in different Memory training's to do with how to practice pieces that we don't want to forget. That's about revisiting it at different intervals and spacing out those intervals even more and more. But if you want to remember something, you've got to keep doing it every day, and then revise at longer intervals as well. So this is what the science is saying. There's something called the forgetting curve, which I mentioned before. This is, I've taken this from elearningindustry.com, where they do conduct lots of research and studies on online learning, e-learning as they like to call it. And this is the forgetting curve. So it's basically a study that someone in Germany did about how people retain information. And so basically you can see day 0, the days are along the bottom. So 0 was right on that axis there going up vertically. We're 100%, of course, when we learn something. By day 1, we've come down to like 50% of remembering, okay? Day 2, it's even less. You're coming down to like 38%. Day 3, we're coming down to like 21%. By day 4, we're only at like 18% of remembering what we learned on day 0, right? After a week, we're talking like 10% remembering what it is that we learned a week ago. Now that is crazy. That's how can we ever learn anything when we forget stuff that quickly, right? But here is the important part. When we remind ourselves about what we've learned and we keep checking in at regular intervals, you can see that even though we went down to like 60% by day 1, maybe we got an email that reminded us about doing some practice or reminded us about what we learned. And so we go back up to 100%. And then after 2 days, we come back down to 60% again. But then we get another. Maybe we are in the message group message, and we're talking about the topic that we're learning. You go back up to 100%. Yes, I remember. That's right. That's what I learned. And then every time you get reminded about the thing that you learned, or every time you check in or you learn something else and you build on that knowledge, the forgetfulness becomes more slight. You can see that this curve is becoming less steep each time. So that means that every time we check in and we remind ourselves what we're learning, or we build upon that knowledge, we're going back up to 100% each time. And that is what this program that I'm putting together is all about. This is called the Pianist Transformation Beginner Sprint. Okay, let's have some more music. Oh, I changed my instrument accidentally. The Pianist Transformation. So this is what the original program was that I started this time last year, and we did it for a whole year. It was a 12-month program. These students were really, really brave, taking on a whole year with me. And we've just finished, and I loved the assignments that they handed in. It was amazing, and they went through pretty much all the courses that I have to offer, which is like 9 or 10, and plus some extra trainings. They put in a lot of work. But one thing that we got in the feedback was that it's really hard to have a 1 year long, commitment like that. And so what I've taken that feedback and this research that I've done, and I've decided to do a sprint version. And so this is a 10-week program that I'm going to be doing. It's kind of taking the inspiration from the year-long transformation, but instead it's a 10-week transformation. Of course, the results aren't as big, but they are more immediate. And what we're doing is it's really pared down, whereas before I was like teaching over the year, it was like we were learning all the courses in Piano Picnic, which is a lot. This one is especially for beginners, and so we're just going to focus on our beginner technique, our posture, all that we learn in the super basics. So that's talking about, your basic finger technique, how to hold your hands, how to hold your body, so that it's not just about speed and dexterity and agility, which it is those things, but it's also about making sure you don't strain yourself when you sit at the piano for longer periods of time, and just a generally more comfortable experience for you, which makes your piano playing more enjoyable. Plus you learn technique to do with how to play scales, how to make any major or minor chord anywhere on the piano. I don't know why, if you've only ever learned, the major and minor chords of a couple of different starting points, or maybe just the white keys. I don't know why people do that, because it's so easy to make one anywhere on the piano. There's just a formula that you need to learn. Same thing with major and minor scales. You can make one up anywhere on the piano. It doesn't matter where you start from. Terrible. But you can play a major and minor scale anywhere on the keyboard. You learn that straight away. There's not many courses that will teach you every major and minor chord and every major and minor scale immediately on the piano, because I think that's too hard for beginners. But you're an adult. I know that you can do it, and it's just as simple as practicing a formula. So I just let you have it. As I said, I don't hold any secrets to my chest about playing the piano. I just love sharing it all. So within saying that, it's a very nice, slow-paced course. As I said, 2-minute lessons, it's not too much, and it doesn't get overwhelming at all. It's really nice and easy, and I take you through step by step. So that's super basics you do in the first month, and then in the second month you're doing songs by ear. And now people get freaked out about this because they're like, what? I'm going to learn to play by ear from one little course, and within a 10-week program? That's mental. But it's not, because I teach my formula. It's a step-by-step formula, and it's not difficult. If you can hum a note, if I can go like this, and you can go, then you can do this course. That's it. That's the only ability you need. And for most people, even if you can't find it straight away, you can eventually get there. You can hear that if I play the note and if I sing, I can hear that they're not the same note. I can hear that I'm off. If you can do that with your ear, then you are ready for songs by ear, okay? I know, it's easy. It's really, really easy. And then also we're going to look, there's a couple of other trainings that are some of my most popular trainings that people have always raved about. So I'm putting those in there as well because they're great for beginners. We Love Chords teaches you all the basic chord types, not just major and minor, and also basic technique and drills, gives you some really great fingering exercises. So that's that. Let me move on. I tend to talk quite a lot. So that's our foundation in beginner piano. Here are the other things so that's the content. These are the things that the research has influenced me to put into this program that I have never, in a combination, done in any other program. You're going to have one-on-one private checkups with me twice in the program. So within the 10 weeks at the start and probably midway through, you're going to be able to book at a time that suits you. You book the appointment, so you don't have to come to some random time zone that's annoying. Like, you just book it because it's for you within the available time that I have. And what we're going to do is talk about your goals, talk about what you want to learn, what it is that you want to do. And even within the 10-week program, but also outside of that, I'm going to be giving you advice for how to continue your piano journey, answer any questions you have, give you some encouragement. So you get 2 of those 15-minute check-ins with me within the 10-week program. I just think that's so great because sometimes it's so awesome just to talk to someone who knows what they're talking about, even if you are doing, online video lessons, to be able to talk to someone about it. Me, the person who made the courses, rather than, just some support chat group, whatever, bot online. It's actually me. And that's one of the things I've also found. I think a lot of people are sick of, help support bots and help articles and stuff like that. Over it. I'm over it. If I'm over it, you're over it. So I do my own support, and that way I can help everyone, but you get 2 15-minute, and I have to be strict with the 15-minute because I got things to do. But that is going to be really valuable for you guys. Next, fortnightly challenges to get your creativity unlocked. When I did this beginner survey a couple of weeks ago, I feel like there's not enough music. I found that one of the things that I don't think that works as well with. No, I don't like that. See, this is I get fussy with my tones, and then I'm stuck. Okay, let's do this. Sounds like I'm preaching. So one of the things that a lot of people said that they really wish they had was more creativity, more projects to do while they're learning new things. So this is one thing that I've included in this program is we're going to have a challenge every fortnight, and it'll start really, really easy, and then we'll work up to like an end of the final project, which you'll do a bit of work on. But that is one thing that I know that people want more of, is being able to use their creativity. And I'm all here for that because I love encouraging creativity. It's my favorite thing. So, and we also get weekly motivational pep talk and tips videos from me. So not only do you get the 15-minute check-ins, not only do you get daily lessons and exercises and a fortnightly challenge so that you can do it with the group, and we'll discuss that. You'll also get a weekly video from me that's like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing. I'm really excited about it. Oh my gosh, this is what you get. This is how you're going to start. And these are the lessons you've got for this week. Let's get into it. You're awesome. Let's do it. You're going to get a video like that from me every single week just to keep you on the right path. And I think that's going to make a real good difference. And this, one of the final things is we're going to have our dedicated little channel and a specific app that's not on social media, because I know that people, I've getting a lot of feedback that people are like, hey, Facebook. Okay, I don't want to say anything bad because I'm currently streaming on Facebook and I don't want them to shut me down. But this is a messaging app that is outside of Facebook. It's called Telegram, and it's really great for having private channels. So as a group, we can all share what we're doing. You guys can share your assignments, you can share your challenges, and you can share how you're feeling about a lesson. You can share some cool music you've been listening to. We can all just kind of like get a bit close-knit and support each other, and I think that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is what a typical week looks like. Day 1, you get a pep talk video from me with instructions and some encouragement. Day 2, email with today's, again, another email with today's 2 to 4 minute video lesson. Each day is about between 2 and maybe 6 minutes of video lessons. And then you're going to have about 10 minutes of practice after that. Day 3, email lesson and exercise as well. And hey, maybe you could book your next one-on-one checkup with me. Day 4, you get your daily lesson, and maybe I issue you a quick challenge for the next fortnight that you're going to be working on. Maybe you message me within the app because you have a question about it, and I'll get back to you ASAP. Day 5, you get another daily lesson, and maybe you start a discussion in our message channel and get to know your fellow pianists in the group. And day 6, today's video lesson is maybe a little bit shorter. Maybe it's only 2 minutes, so you could get a little bit more time to spend on the challenge that I issued earlier in the week and upload it to the app. And then day 7, maybe we're all giving each other feedback on the challenges that we all uploaded to the group channel. So that's a pretty fun week, and we're going to be doing that for 10 weeks, give or take. Some of those things will not be each week. So here's what you're going to learn. As I mentioned before, weeks 1 to 4, I'll show you how to hold your hands, use correct posture, use your fingers properly, major and minor chords and scales. That's using the course Super Basics and the coaching replay basic technique and drills. Weeks 5 to 8, you're going to go over my 10-step formula to learning a basic pop song by ear. And you're also going to learn more about chords, not just the major and minor chords, but all the kind of essential ones that you're going to be using a lot when you are learning songs by ear. Weeks 9 and 10, we're going to be less of the coursework and more working on your final creative project using the skills and knowledge that you've acquired so far. And I'm going to be guiding you, so don't freak out. We're going to be, back and forth, trying to get the most out of, and I'll be prompting you to maybe add more things that you've learned along the way. And we might be getting some excerpts from some other courses here, probably a little bit of Riffing Pro, which is also a really great course. So what do you need? You need a keyboard or a piano. You do. You need headphones or speakers, right, to play your piano through, and also to play the video lessons. You need a computer or mobile device with internet access, and you need about 20 minutes a day on average. Now, I know that life happens. We don't always have 20 minutes a day, but I want you to make this commitment to 10 weeks under the knowledge that you are going to need 20 minutes a day. Whether you can make that daily commitment, whether sometimes, maybe just like Sundays are so full on or Mondays are so full on, it's just not going to happen, then you can, of course, spread out those lessons throughout the week and make up the time. That's totally up to you. I'm not going to be over your shoulder making sure you do 20 minutes a day, but this is basically what I'm recommending for you to get the most out of this 10-week program. So just go into it knowing that that's where the results, the real progress is dependent on, is spending that time. Because I know that the biggest struggle people have is time, and I try to make it as easy as possible for you. But at the end of the day, you are only going to have progress when you spend time learning and playing the piano. There's no shortcut. There just isn't. And I know we really want there to be one, but there isn't. And I can serve the information to you in the most convenient way possible. But at the end of the day, you have to sit at the piano and play it. Okay? That's my tough talk. So here's some comments, and you can read these on the screen if you like. But these just some things that I picked out. I've got tons of these, by the way, and they're all over my website if you ever want to check out more. I've got I haven't uploaded the most recent ones, but I've got like a lot of the past comments from students on social media and in the forums and stuff like that on my website, pianopitnet.com/results. There's way more of this. If you just want to read them all, then you can. I just picked out a couple of them here because they're specifically about the trainings that we're doing in this program. So these are specifically, all these comments are about either the course or the trainings that we're going to be including. So you know that people have already done these courses and they freaking love them. Okay. So the pianist transformation, the pianist transformation beginner sprint, that is starting on October 16. Whoa, what's my hair done? That's what happens. I don't have the camera on me. That is starting October 16, which is next Monday. So you got to get in there. I am really excited about this program. I think it's going to make a real major difference for beginner pianists, for you to get past that beginner level. Just get past it. We're going to spend 10 weeks, 20 minutes a day, and you are going to graduate beginner level piano. You get a certification in everything, and that's before Christmas. Imagine Christmas holidays, and you know that you've just done all this amazing work on your piano playing, and you get to achieve that before you even start 2024. Or you get to spend the Christmas holidays playing songs by ear because you've just learned how to do it in the 10-week program. And then you know that 2024, like, what's that going to bring, you know? So this is cool. This is very exciting. And the reason I'm starting it so quickly and I haven't had that much time to tell you guys about it is because I want the 10 weeks to finish before Christmas so we can all go on holiday and be like, yes, I achieved something right at the end of the year. And now 2024 is going to be a good time. So I hope you'll join me for this program. I'm going to pop the link in the description. You know what? Before you go away, if you're interested, just send me a message, whether that's on Facebook or in the YouTube comments, or just send me an email to info@pianopitnet.com, and I will send you the link with more information about this program. But do it really quickly because we start next Monday, so in less than a week. And it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it. So anyway, I got to make sure there's piano because it's sitting here. So I have to make sure that I have to make sure that I play something. For those of you who are just joining, where were you? No. You'll have to watch the replay or skip back because there's some really great info for beginners about what people are wanting. So I want to know from you whether those things are things that you think will be good for learning the piano, or whether you've tried any of those things. I'm really interested to know. thank you so much for coming today, and I hope I'll see you inside the program. Remember to send me a message, and I will